It's Loving the Strange with Carrie Jones and Sean Farrar. Loving the Strange, a podcast for weirdos and those who want to be weirder. Embrace the strange. New episodes every Saturday, live streaming Fridays. Loving the Strange. Check us out. Hey, welcome to Loving the Strange.
Hey, baby.
Hey, this is the podcast of strangeness, including why are we even having a podcast? Because it's too strange.
What's too strange?
Us.
Oh.
Well,
they should have been here like a minute ago.
No. So I think I was just thinking about this. Like, I think it's only strange because we're not famous people. Like, famous people can be weird, but we're not famous. So technically, we're just weird. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't have that famous people
buffer. We're not as weird as some famous people.
No, but we're a little too weird for normal, I think.
No, we're totally normal.
Maybe our problem is that we're too open about our being weird, which is a perfect segue into what tonight's podcast is. And it's about funny grandmother stories, no matter what you call your Grammy. It's about those. And I think that maybe once you get a certain age and you're a lot of Grammys, not all Grammys, but a lot of them, you just let go of that filter. Don't care anymore. And you're a little strange.
I think that's true.
Was your grandma?
People in general, like, you know, when you're standing in the grocery store line and this person's in front of you, they're like 85 and they just let loose with a ripper, like, and they don't even acknowledge it whatsoever.
No,
it's like I'm allowed to do that.
But maybe they don't.
This long.
Maybe much like you, when you're asleep, they don't realize that they're doing that.
Oh. Well, I only say I don't realize it, so I don't have to hear you yell at me every time.
You lie about that?
No, I don't realize all of it.
All the time. He just blames the dog.
This is not about farting in bed, baby.
And everything is really about farting in bed, and it's your fault because you're talking about Grammys and Grampies in the grocery store line.
I guess I did start that.
Yeah, letting one rip. But do you have a good story? Do you have any grandparent stories?
I can't tell my grandma's stories right now. I'll have to do like a mic drop and leave the room, and you'll be on your own the rest of the podcast.
You could pretend that it's somebody else's story later on in the podcast.
Oh, no. I don't mind telling it.
Oh.
I mean, hopefully nobody's listening from my family, but
you'd have to make a super censored version.
No, I won't be detailed, like word-wise. I won't use bad words.
Okay. So, hey, Dee's here.
Like, I can use the word penis.
Penis. Dee's here. Hey, Dee.
Hello, Dee.
Hey. Dee says weird people are the best, though. Embrace your weirdness. I do.
Well, I think there's different kinds of weird now.
There's so many weird. All right, so the whole reason we're doing this podcast was because I saw a story about this guy on TikTok talking about, I didn't actually see the TikTok, which seems very secondhand, but he was on TikTok and he was talking about his Grammy, right? And she lives in New Jersey and it's gone a little viral. And her grandson, one of them, his name is Dan Lamorte or Dan Lamort. I don't know how to say it because I didn't watch the TikTok. I don't know what that noise was.
Or dog.
Anyways, his Grammy Mary has a ranking board on her refrigerator.
For what?
It has 10 magnets on it, and on each magnet is a face. And
is it all her boyfriends?
It's all her grandchildren.
Oh. That's awesome.
And she ranks her grandchildren like from 1 all the way down to 10. And then they go over her house.
And they get to see it?
And they see their place on the refrigerator board of grandchildren awesomeness.
But then they all work harder.
Maybe that's her theory.
Yeah.
Maybe that's her theory.
Unless there's like one kid that's always at 10, eventually he's gonna kill her.
Maybe. I know that seems like. Can you see the police going in like, oh, dead grandmother? Bet it was number 10. Like that makes sense. That would be motive. Anyways, it says in this video, it says, I'm currently, the comedian guy Dan says, I'm currently at number 4. This is the highest I've ever been.
He's an adult now, right?
Yeah. And he said, but I did just get 2 new tattoos. So I'm a little nervous about what that's going to do for my ranking. And so, like in the video, he shows his Grammy, who's 85, his new ink.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, and totally horrified. And instantaneously, his magnet moves.
To what?
Last place.
Number 10?
Yes, number 10. Number 10, man. Like,
he shouldn't have showed her. Why be honest?
I know. Well, I guess for the video likes. But anyways, it went viral.
I guess so.
It all went viral, right?
Yeah.
And so because it went viral, he told the Today Show people that he's now at number 3 because he calls her nanny because his nanny was so excited about being an internet star.
Oh.
And then the next day, the day after it got viral, she did a very nanny thing and she got her hair done and her nails done. But according to Dan, he will never get to be number 1 because that place belongs to his cousin Jacqueline, sorry, because she bought a house across the street from Nanny and helps her out all the time.
Oh God! Every family has a suck up.
I know. My family has a suck up.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yes,
mine does, and you know who it is, just like I know who yours is.
I don't know who yours is.
You know,
is it?
Come on.
No, I don't. In your generation?
No.
Oh, okay. So
no, definitely not mine. We don't have anybody to suck up to.
I know that's hard. We don't have a Grammy to suck up to. All my grandmothers are dead. So, anyways,
I'll suck up to an assload of debt. If I try to.
Sean's like, I'd like to inherit everything you don't have.
Exactly. I mean, that's not my entire family. Don't get
me wrong. Anyways, I think that's kind of funny and really interesting. And I can't even imagine, like, what kind of nanny that lady is. Like, that's ballsy. Like, to have the magnets and the ranking. And, like,
rough, actually, I think.
Yeah. He said, like, if you get married, you move up. If you have a kid, you move up.
What about if you get divorced?
Well, if you have a kid and you're not married, nanny moves you down, which is what happened to Tanya.
That's hilarious. It's like a whole conversation.
I know.
On TikTok. Was it TikTok or?
Yeah, it was on TikTok originally. Okay. Sonia's on a Grammy now. Hey, Sonia. Sorry, we're not talking about tree people. Christopher said he definitely saw that. Hey, Christopher. Doug says hi. Hi, Doug. Hi. And Susie says, I saw this on TikTok. And so did Dee. Yeah, 85. She's 85 years old.
Your grandma?
Yeah.
Oh.
Isn't that awesome?
I think I would have been pretty much at number 1.
You've only been number 1?
No, I think I would have been number 1 on my grandma's boy. I know I would have been for a long time because I was the only grandchild.
That doesn't count.
Fuck yeah, it does.
Sean.
Sorry.
Language. So yeah, I don't know if I'd ever be number 1 because I didn't suck up.
Oh,
I was always number 2.
Shot up to number 1 like when you were born because there was such an age difference.
No, I think everybody's like embarrassed. Like, what are you doing? Still having children? You're ancient.
Well, that's not your fault.
No, I know, but I think they were embarrassed by me. And I was such a broken little kid.
No, you weren't.
Yes. All right. Do you have a grandparent story you want to share?
Man, you shared such a good one. I'm telling you.
It's hard to top it, right? It's hard to top it. Do you want to hear one?
Do you have another one?
Yeah, I have another one.
Okay.
This is anonymous from one of our listeners. Ready? You ready? because it involves poop.
Oh, I'm in.
All right, I thought you might be
I'm
in.
in.
All right, so my mom bought prunes for my grandparent to help them move things along. Well, my grandma decided she was gonna eat the entire bag
Of prunes?
of prunes.
Sweet.
I hope it was. When my mom confronted her, she tipped the bag and ate all but one prune. Like, you gotta imagine a Grammy being like, I'm gonna just eat them all, right?
Yeah.
Later, she was sitting at the table in the kitchen and let out a wet F-A-R-T.
Dude, I can relate to that without prunes.
Yeah, all night last night in bed. She commented, "Oh, that was a wet one." My mom screamed, "Mom, go to the bathroom." They had to clean her up, and I believe they threw the bottoms away. My grandma comes back and lays on the couch saying how she wanted more prunes. My mom told her no. My grandma wanted to know why. My mom says, "Think real hard, Mom. What happened the last time you ate prunes?" And without missing a beat, my grandma says, "I shitted." And I died laughing.
That's sharded in today's.
Sharded. That's right, sharded.
That's hilarious. Like, my stomach literally hurts.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's awesome.
I just realized I said the real swear word and I had spelled out the word F-A-R-T.
What?
I said the real swear word.
What did you say? You shitted?
Yeah.
You just spelled out farted?
Yeah, but I said.
Oh, you should have said sharded.
I should have.
Either way, that's an awesome story.
It's the best story.
Man, I don't know whose grandma that was, but I wish if they were still alive, I'd say don't feel badly.
No.
I've had to cut my underwear off and throw it in the trash.
That's the best story. I think
No, it's not.
I think Kenny, who's waiting for the Tree People live conversation, would possibly understand that story.
Oh, sure would.
All right, so Susie said, my main Grammy did not wear slacks until after my grandfather died. She also never crossed her legs because it was considered unladylike. She would poke my knee if I crossed my legs. I will tell you, Susie, that my Nana Morse, she only wore slacks because there was no way in hell she was gonna wear a dress. And she was like huge, like super tall, like supermodel thin, like 5'11", 90 pounds, ridiculous. But she would she was just like, no, dresses, no, they can see up those. Anyways, but she would poke my knee too if I crossed my legs, and I could not figure out what was going on. And then I told my mom, and because I asked my Nana, I'm like, why do you always put me in the knee? And she's like, because ladies don't cross their legs. And my mom got so mad about that and went on and on about how my Nana sat because my Nana had a man spread. Like she like my Nana would take up
but
like
she only wore slacks, right?
Right. But
Yeah.
my mom's like, you can't cross your legs, but this woman can like man spread across the entire back of the Ford. Like, no, it was very, very bad.
That's hilarious.
I know.
That's so different than my grandmother.
What was your grandmother like?
She wore slacks all the time, or shorts.
Mm-hmm.
She wore like, I don't know what you call them for a woman, but like a wife beater, like a strappy kind of tank top thing.
We call it a strappy kind of tank top.
Yeah.
She was a Florida Grammy who was from Florida. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. My Nana often didn't wear sleeves on her clothes, and we all were very upset about it.
My grandmother, some of my best memories when she was sneak smoking.
Cigarettes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like she was supposed to quit, because her and my grandfather were lifelong smokers. And then I'd be out just exploring around, maybe out in the laundry room. I'd find some cigarettes in a lighter, like hidden up on a stud.
No.
I'd be like, what are these, really?
No.
Like, don't you tell your grandfather. I just have one every once in a while, But don't you say a word to anybody. Now I get a switch.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'd be like, woman, I'm bigger than you. Shut up.
No.
But I'd never snitch her out.
You didn't.
No.
Even when you were
She gave me
super.
money.
Oh well.
She paid me off.
That's bribes.
I didn't
So-
ask her for it. She
so-
gave it to me.
So you learned the language of bribes from
With
a
a
very
wink.
young child.
Yeah.
All right, I have another story. You want it?
What is it?
Ken's here. He says yay about the tree people.
Yeah,
So
I don't know what the tree people
I
are.
know someday you will. All right, so the local news station was doing a story on if old people were still having sex.
Oh hell yeah, they are. That's like one of the highest STD freaking groups. Anyways, go ahead.
Why do you know that?
Because I read the news.
All right, so ready?
Yeah.
You gotta imagine you're watching the local news station.
Yeah.
They're doing a story about old people and
Yeah.
whether or not they're still doing it, right? Cue my grandma on screen.
What?
Yes, on screen, saying, yeah, we're still having sex. We have it 2 or 3 times a week
Holy crap.
to make the broadcast worse.
That's almost as much as us.
To make the broadcast worse, they decided to play Let's Get It On in the background as my grandparents were walking away hand in hand.
But what's the definition of old?
I don't know. But can you imagine, like, your Grammys on TV
That's funny.
talking about doing it with your grandpa?
I could imagine that. And it wouldn't faze me. Definitely.
In my family, we all imagined we just came, like,
From the store?
the store,
Like delivered you?
virgin births,
Friggin' angel dropped you gently
Angels-
in your mother's lap?
aliens came. Uh-oh, no. You can read Christopher's because it's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Christopher's granny might sound like she belongs in your family, Sean.
Maybe.
Yeah. Read it.
Oh, I walked in on my granny having adult time once. So they definitely do the tango in their later days. Yeah, they do. I'm planning on it.
He made a noise. I don't know if anybody heard that, but that was really bad. I don't know what I'd do if I saw that. I don't know what I'd do. I have the reverse story.
You would repress it.
I would repress it right away.
Me?
Yeah. Like,
I would have been like, how far can I get this door open before they know I'm here?
According to my brother, I walked in on my stepsister doing it when I was a little kid. And I completely repressed that, turned it into my mother and like a fake memory, and then like still repressed it, I think. Unless I also walked in on my mom, which could be.
Could be.
True.
I mean, could be.
Doug Marshall said nobody's parents had sex.
Oh, mine did. I mean, one of my funniest thoughts randomly in my head that pops in every once in a while was, did my parents actually ever know that I opened the door just a little bit by mistake?
No.
Because at the time they didn't seem like they were aware. Or were they just like, he's gone now?
Oh no, you walked in on your parents too?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I know.
Oh man. Do you ever wonder if like little kids, when they hear those sorts of noises, we're gonna have to get off this topic very soon.
Yeah.
But when they hear those parents' noises coming from their rooms and they're like 3 or 4 or something, and they're like, the house is haunted, it's a ghost, like me, or like they're like terrified, it's actually they're hearing the sounds of their parents doing it.
I think my answer to that is I didn't think that at all.
Well, you were more wise than I was.
No. I remember like the first time I heard it, I thought it was violent sounds.
Oh.
Like fighting or something. But then I figured it out fairly quickly.
Did you figure out as you burst into the room ready to save your parents?
I was like, I'm not getting out of bad age. I was younger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
But I have like really vivid memories of hearing like ghost moaning noises, like whoa. And now I'm like, oh no.
Your mom.
What if that was like my mom and my stepdad? Or what if that was like somebody constipated on the toilet and I grew up terrified of ghosts because I thought that's what that noise had to be. The end. Christopher said the same. I think he's referring to you, my friend.
About what?
About the parent walking in.
Oh,
and like,
yeah.
Did they notice? They don't seem to notice.
It doesn't matter now. But.
Yeah. Doug said his siblings agree that their parents never had sex. And Dee said Kelly Ripa's kid walked in on her and Mark doing it recently. That must be Kelly Ripa's husband. Their kid was either a teenager or an adult and mortified. Yeah.
Well, I gotta say this. People can be doing it, and you can walk in on a lot of different visions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people could be having sex, and you can't really see much, even if you can see all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they were on their side saying you saw.
You're getting explicit.
But if you walk in and your mom's hanging from a sex swing,
now you're
gonna have like post-traumatic.
Okay, let's go to a nice Susie story. My Virginia Grammy, maybe it's not that one. My Virginia Grammy liked her bourbon and would fill the little shampoo bottles that came with her luggage. When visiting us, I asked her not to bring booze. My son, age 4 at the time, opened her case and wanted to know why Great Grammy had so much brown shampoo. Busted.
That's hilarious.
No, man. No, man.
Nowadays, Grammy just be wearing like a Camelback. I gotta stay hydrated, so I just carry my water with me.
I had an aunt, Athley was her name, and she was like this super hippie California woman, and we're all like from New Hampshire, right? Like she married a art director at MGM. She was like did like batiking and stuff, like everything outside of our little New Hampshire brains, right? And her daughters, or one of her daughter, grew up and then like rebelled against her and became like not in a normal rebellion way, but in a I'm gonna be super, super, super evangelical straight edge kind of way. And as my aunt Athley got older and older and older, she ended up like in her 90s having to stay with her daughter. Rather than going to a hospice or like a hospital or anything like that, they wanted to take care of her. And my aunt would do anything she could to get out of there. Like she'd go down to a bar, she'd walk, they like took away her car keys, they took away her driver's license. She'd like hired a taxi to go take her out because she was like, there's no wine here. There's just no wine.
They didn't drink?
No, they were
super.
They were like they're as straight edge as you can possibly be, and like everybody in my family was.
I don't blame you, you're an athlete at all.
I know, but that side of the family is very like, oh, if you have wine once a month, they think you're in trouble.
Man.
Yeah, it's very straight edgy. So
yeah, no judgment here.
No. Art's gonna have to sit this show out, he said.
That's hilarious.
All right.
For those of you who don't know,
Art's mom
Art Gowie would be the son of Susie Gowie Burks.
Yeah. So Doug said there's a reason for door locks. And we'll miss you, Art, by the way. And Dee said, one time my granny snuck into the kitchen at night to drink some. I believe it. I believe it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If I sharted myself in front of the whole family, I would probably have a drink too.
Yeah. If that was you, which you are, that is you. That you're the person who does that sort of sharting thing.
I don't shart.
Yeah.
I fart.
Okay.
You hear how dry the F sound is? And shart is just like shh. It sounds like water. Shh. You get it?
Yes.
It's a phonetically correct words. Fart and shart.
One time, Dee says, my granny snuck into the kitchen at night when everyone was asleep to get some Coke. She wasn't supposed to have a soda, and I heard her open the bottle when she woke me up. That's so sad.
I thought your granny was going in the kitchen to do a couple lines.
No. Oh no, Doug said his grandmother was a racist anti-Semite. No fun at all. Hell no, Doug. Sorry.
Jesus, not.
That's terrible.
Dang.
I know.
Party killer.
No, it's not.
Party
Well,
crasher, Doug.
all right. You want to hear a Nana story?
Your Nana?
No, not my Nana.
Oh,
All right, ready?
Sure?
Yes.
Folks, I'll tell you if it's Carrie's Nana if she tells the story.
It's
Because
definitely.
I'll know it. Go ahead.
You will know this is not my Nana.
All right.
All right. So my great grandma, while miraculously still alive, is senile and half dead. So we're never sure if she understands what's going on around her at any given time. Nonetheless, we try to include her during meal times and such. One day, the whole family is having breakfast together and chatting. Brother, friend's name. So let's say Sean. Sean got in trouble, some kind of trouble with the cops. I'm not sure what for, but I think it was soliciting. Mom, shut it. Don't say such things in front of your Nana, honestly. Brother, what? She's not even listening. Nana, suddenly yelling, flat ass ain't worth the money, hun.
That's hilarious.
She was, in fact, listening.
I would say so.
Dee has a continuation on her story. She said the next day everybody blamed me for the soda being flat, and I told him it was her, and she got mad at me, but I didn't care. I wasn't gonna get in trouble for her.
I'm not gonna get in trouble with a shirt and Grammy.
That's not her shirt and Grammy, baby.
Oh, that's right.
No.
Sorry.
Anyways, so I think that's so funny. I think you think everybody's Grammy is a shirt and Grammy now. Is that it?
Right. Well, when they reach a certain age, they probably are.
Yeah.
But,
all right.
Yeah.
So here's another one. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. So on Overheard, a person shared their grandma story. And here, this is it. While their grandma was talking to a neighbor, the neighbor told her that a woman they both knew had moved to the city recently. Gosh, there's a theme. To become a prostitute or a sex worker. The grandma replied that all professions are needed and someone needs to do that work too. My neighbor reluctantly agreed because she respected the grandma so much. Later, the grandma discovered that the neighbor had said prostitute when she thought she said substitute. Which I can totally see a Grammy doing.
Heck yeah.
Like, I think it's hysterical. Because I do that all the time, and I'm not even a Grammy.
So when you were a kid, how old was your Grammy?
That's math.
I was just thinking, though.
That's a lot of math.
I think, you can be thinking of Grammys, like the age range runs huge.
Right, like Sonia was just on here.
Grammy and a great grandmother. But for that, somebody else, that my great grandmother might be their grandmother. Right, like Sonia's on here, and she's a really young grandmother. Right. All right. My Nana was. Oh lordy, can you talk while I do math? Oh well, yeah, I can talk. I gotta read it out. Why don't you just say it out loud? The audience can help you. Or I can. I think my Nana was born in 19. Wait, no, because then everybody will know how old I am. No, well, don't tell. You only got to do that in your head, and then tell us your grandmother's birth year, and we'll do the math for you. I think. Well, one of my nanas was 70-something when I was born. Yeah. Another one of my nanas was in her late 60s when I was born. Those are both, to me, pretty old. One of my nanas, I think, was born. Oh, I forgot the other one. One of my nanas wasn't born in this century. No, not the 2000s. I mean, she wasn't born in the 1900s. She was born in the 18-something or others, like 90s. I was gonna say, you got some young ass grandmothers. They're not even 23 years old. Yeah, I know. No, I think that one was like 85 or something ridiculous when I was born. Like, well, see, and my grandfathers are worse. My mom and my grandmother both had their children respectively, at least my mom, from my grandmother, when they were like 20 or less. Yeah. So when I was a kid growing up, my grandmother was only in her mid-40s. Yeah, that's how. Like when I was 5 and 6 years old.
that's how my mom was with my sister.
Right.
Because they both had, my mom had my sister under 20, and my sister had her firstborn under 20.
But at the same time, I think my great grandmother was a lot older than
Yeah.
the difference between my mom and grandmother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Your Grammys can age, like Grammys can be all over the place, you know?
That's right.
Yeah. Wait, what's John Bell talking about? Read it.
No one had a worse, crazy, ignorant red phonograms than my first wife. Just ask me.
Did John's first wife have a little wonky gram?
Yeah.
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 Are there any stories you can share?
No.
Okay. So let's go back.
John can share them if he wants.
Are you afraid?
No, I'm not afraid.
All right, here's a really funny one, right?
Yeah.
And this one is about, like, you know how sometimes as you get older, or if you're Dutch, you're just very, very blunt.
Yes. Yes. I have seen that tendency in some elderly folks.
Yeah, well, one of my grandmothers, the one who would be super old that I never knew, she actually was Dutch. And according to my mom, she was very blunt and hilarious, but this is not her story, right? So it's a grandchild talking to a grandma, and the grandchild says, my mom wants her ashes spread in Ireland. And grandma goes, that's expensive. And the grandchild, like, doesn't say anything because he doesn't know what to say, right? Because it's like, it's what his mom wants, right? And then his grandma goes, just attach it to a balloon, like like a message in a bottle. They'll get there. Like,
they'll be spread all over the place.
Yeah, like,
or they'll fall in the ocean and sink. That was their second choice, the ocean.
I know, but that's just such a blunt Grammy kind of.
Yes, it is.
I love it.
Cheap Grammy too.
Do you have any funny stories? Any weird, crazy, wild, interesting Grammy stories over there?
Let's see.
Oh, he sat up straight. He might have
Well,
one.
I gotta be able to read the screen.
All right. We're waiting. Uh-oh. He
You
doesn't
talk
have
while
one.
I look.
All right, I have another one. Oh, wait. No, that one has an animal death in it. How about this one? Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. How are you going to look? You won't be able to listen.
I'm listening.
All right.
All right. See?
My paternal grandmother, God rest her soul, was a very traditional Chinese lady. She was super excited when mom got pregnant with me. Not only was I the eldest son of her eldest son, which was already a big deal to her, I was slated to be born in the year of the dragon, which most Asian cultures consider an auspicious year. As such, my grandmother went out of her way to splurge and buy a lot of dragon jewelry for me, all made from solid gold. But then my expected due date came and passed. An entire week went by, and my mom didn't go into labor. The year of the dragon was fast ending, and the year of the snake was just 2 or 3 days away. My grandmother promptly began panicking very vocally that all her dragon jewelry would go to waste. Can you imagine, like, no, like, I don't care about you and the baby. It's my, like, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's kind of funny.
It is funny. Very funny.
I think my mom would do something like that, actually. Like, she would get very fixated on something like that.
Mother?
Yeah, my mom would have.
Oh, from what I've heard about your mom from your very own mouth, I'd have to agree.
My mama was lovely, but she did get fixated on
It
things.
seems like she was like kind of like a really kind of grudge holder type fixer.
Yeah.
Fixator, I mean.
Oh, yeah. Do you ask, was he born in the year of the dragon?
Very good question.
Or did it go to waste? Yes. Barely snuck it in.
I was wondering that myself.
Yes.
But I
like,
distracted.
On the 23rd of January, 2001, this person, on the very last day of the dragon, finally decided to come into the world, sparing the grandmother the need to redo the jewelry. And their mom,
thank the Lord.
And their mom has been read joking that they've been oversleeping since the womb.
The kid?
Yeah.
The boy?
Yeah.
Well, depends on how old they are. It's probably normal.
I guess, yeah.
So I have one from BuzzFeed here.
Alright.
Kind of hits close to home.
Oh no.
But says, I recently discovered that my grandmother smokes pot, which she gets from a friend of a friend who grows it in her assisted living complex.
No, really?
Supposedly.
Oh.
But see, that doesn't even faze me.
Is that the whole story?
I knew my grandmother smoked pot. Yeah, that was the whole story.
My Grammy doesn't live in Maine, where it's legal.
Well, it wasn't back then.
I'm surprised Grandma didn't hint at a C-section, Dee said, which is super funny.
11:50 hit. Cut me at 11:50. Get that thing out of
there. On another podcast, Shawnee and I talked about how we're from very, very different kinds of families when it comes to anything, really. You're from Florida and I'm from New England. And
there's a huge difference.
And you're not uptight, and my family was, like.
Yeah, my family was not uptight.
Not uptight at all, and mine was really, 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 like, my grandparents were prohibitionists. Like,
did you ever have a pet monkey?
No, I had a poodle.
My grandparents had a monkey.
That's amazing. That's so amazing. Is that legal? Like,
it was then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, your grandparents were like the original hippies almost, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
They like to hang out at Big Sur out in California.
Yeah. They were prohibitionists. Like, they legit.
Never got along.
No, they never would have got along. But yeah, my grandparents were prohibitionists. They paid for my sister's wedding. I've told this story, I think, before, and I apologize if anybody has heard it. But my oldest sister's wedding, they paid for, and that side of the family just thought alcohol was the devil's work, right? Like, you were just gonna, like, go bankrupt, be sleeping in an alley if you had a beer. And my other side of the family, and my mom's side of the family, her mother's side of the family, they were huge people, like huge farming people. Like, the smallest man was 6'4" kind of people. They're all built like Sean. They, like, you go to their family reunions and they'd just be pounding the bud and, like, light Budweiser.
Smoking the bud?
Not smoking the bud, but pounding them down. And, like, they'd go through like 12 packs and you'd be like, are you even drunk? These people could put it away. And you'd go to their things and it was like a hillbilly stereotype, only in New Hampshire. And they'd just, like, do arm wrestling matches. They'd pick you up. Like, because I was short, they loved to pick me up and throw me places.
Yeah.
Like, in the pool, like, onto trampoline things. Like, they're like, ha, ha, ha. And it was hell. Anyways, at this wedding, they said they'd pay for it. It's a family story. And I don't know, because, I was a lot younger. But there couldn't be any alcohol there. And everybody else was like, what the hell? Who wants to go to a wedding without alcohol? Because it's America. Right. And so they went, and my whole entire other family, I think this is in the 70s, like the middle of the 70s, got one of those, like, van from down the river kind of vans. And they
back then it wasn't a down by the river van, baby. It was cool.
All right, they had a big van. And they had kegs.
Shag carpeting.
Yeah, and they had kegs in the van. And, like, everybody kept leaving the reception to go out into the parking lot to, like, drink from the kegs from the van. And they also had flasks and all those kind of things. And then my other grandparents, the prohibitionist grandparents, they were like, why is everybody out in the parking lot? Because eventually they stopped coming back in. And they, like, turned the music up on the van. And
I'm sure they did.
But I don't know for sure. That's the way the story was told to me, because I was too little to really know.
No, it sounds really accurate.
Yeah.
Totally to me.
Dee said it's Florida. A lot of stuff goes down in Florida. And Stu said, I would like these other grandparents. And John agrees with you. And he says,
I know.
it sounds like Sean and I many years ago.
I swear.
What? What do you swear?
No, I
What do you
just
swear?
you talking about this having kegs in the back of the. We'd have a keg in the back of John's truck sometimes for like a week straight.
Just one keg?
Just rolling around with. Well, you can't drink. A keg is a lot of beer.
I don't know.
It's a full keg is a lot of beer.
Is it?
Yeah, it's probably like I don't know, 20 gallons maybe. I'm not sure.
Doesn't...
I don't know what it is. It's a lot of beer.
I have no idea.
And you got to put it in a trash can and keep it full of ice. 160.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
The new dad knows it.
That's a lot of beer.
Congratulations. So that is a lot of. Oh, look, and John knew it too. 13.5 cases or 160 beers, full keg. I feel so dumb now.
I totally relate to the van theory.
All right, we have a big. Oh no, hold on. I'm gonna have to go onto Facebook to find the whole comment to read.
Oh yeah, you gotta.
Do you have another story while I do this?
I don't know.
Oh come on,
I
man!
didn't prepare for this. I was too busy, man.
You were so busy.
Give us a night halfway alone.
No, so you know what? He was busy. He was complaining about what I was making for dinner, which he loved.
Oh, but it was so good.
Yes.
It was like Lebanese. We're on this Mediterranean diet. It's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Tonight was really good, though.
Yeah, it was super good. I can't get to the whole...
come on, you can do it better.
No, it's like blocking me. I can only get the last 4 comments.
Here, I got one.
All right.
My grandma had way too much to drink once and told me that the reason she and my grandpa missed my birth was that they had crazy sex the night before and slept through mom and dad's phone calls the next morning.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Hey,
no.
Man,
she didn't tell you that.
That's not my story. That's off of BuzzFeed.
Oh, thank God.
What I will tell you.
I believe that was your family.
My grandparents, when I was a teenager and a young adult.
Yeah. Oh,
There would be not specific, but random weekends. Like if you went to their house, they would have taped a piece of paper on the door and it said, "Don't even bother knocking. We're not. This is our." I don't remember the message, but basically, don't fucking bother us. We will not respond to phone calls nor knocks on the door or anything.
Because
they want to have a nice weekend of alone time with the VCR and stuff like that. Run around naked.
Oh my gosh.
Smoke weed, have a couple drinks.
You know, they're so opposite from my prohibitionist grandparents. And
they're probably opposite from anybody in that era of your family.
Probably, but
from beyond you.
I will say that my prohibitionist grandparents, from what I knew of them, my Grammy was pretty sad and melancholy. She wrote a lot of really sad poems. And my grandfather on that side was a jerk.
Yeah.
He was like the scary guy in Poltergeist in the black suit. Yeah.
So you can't get Susie's thing?
No, I can't get all of it. Let me try.
D has now.
Oh, okay. Thanks, D. So we'll start and then we'll go to D's continuation of Susie's comment. D, you save the day all the time. All right. Sorry. I love D. So let me start again. She wasn't a grandmother, but she was an elder of the church in her 70s and a school teacher for many years. I always thought of her as a proper lady, but one Sunday she was meeting some of her former students for lunch and she had a bit of a drive, so she was anxious to get going after service ended. At the end of the service, the people at church had clogged up the aisle and she hiked up her skirt and climbed over the pews to get to the door. I told her how shocked I was, and she said, "I'm in a hurry and I'm too old to care." I had such new respect for her.
That's awesome.
I love that. I love that.
Those are the magic words. Too old to care.
I know. I can't wait for that part of old, like when you don't care anymore.
I know you can do anything.
I know. It's so powerful. The end. The end.
Okay.
Do you want to have another one?
I don't know.
All right, I have another one.
All
right. Most of my family's from the South. So maybe you and Dee can get this one. So they say some crazy
John.
Baptist SHIT every once in a while. I remember being around my grandma one day when it was sunny and raining at the same time. She looked out the window and very confidently said, "Look at that. The devil is beating his wife again." And I couldn't help but burst into laughter and look at her like, "What the F, my grandma?" Do people say that in the South? Some people?
I had never heard that one, but I've heard similar things.
Really?
But not necessarily in a religious context. More like it might have started out in a religious context, but it just got handed down as a saying.
Oh, that's a horrible saying because it's abusive. But at the same time, sorry, D, but at the same time, it's the devil. So, of course, he's going to be beating his wife if he's married.
Oh, yeah.
It's the
He's
devil
going to show
married?
her where her place is.
Oh.
What?
My brain is blowing up. All right.
About what?
And about that saying. And Dee says it. She says it all the time.
That's a lot of tears sometimes.
Wow. And Susie says, yes, they do say it. That's amazing. I think they say more fun things in the South, maybe.
Yeah, like when the thunder rolls and they say, "Oh, God's bowling again."
My mom.
I don't think that's from a religious perspective, though.
Well, I think they also used to say that about Thor.
I think Baptists would say God's bowling.
Yeah, my mom said that. My mom was not a Baptist. My mom was a Methodist.
Well, when I was a
until she quit the church.
Couldn't bowl because that's competition.
What?
Competition. It's like it's akin to gambling.
Oh. Really?
Yeah.
So when your family went through its Pentecostal stage,
it doesn't mean my family adheres strictly to the rules, but yes.
Were you allowed to play cards?
Once again, no.
Did your dad stop drinking beer?
Probably for a little while.
Did your mom wear long skirts?
Yeah, pretty long, but not like floor draggers.
So your mom went from hippie, Florida, lay in the sun lady, nurse, to Pentecostal.
She was still a nurse.
To Pentecostal.
For a little bit.
That's a big switch.
Yeah.
Because she's nothing like that now.
No, but when we talk on the phone, she mentions God a lot.
Really?
Quite often. About certain things.
Huh.
So she's still got it in her.
Interesting.
But you know.
All right.
You can smoke a vape and still love God.
Dee said, if it's raining and the sun is out, I call my mom and say the devil is beating his wife behind the door with the frying pan. What? That's amazing. My mom said, according to Dee, her grandma told her if you put a stick to the ground, you could hear it. That's cool.
That's like you're in the ocean.
Yeah, and Susie said, I think that they said the angels are bowling or moving furniture. Yeah, my mom.
Heard the moving furniture one before.
My mom went with bowling and furniture and angels, and I think that's because my mom really liked bowling.
Your mom was a bowler, wasn't she?
Yes, and that's why she quit the church.
Because she bowled?
Yes.
What, was she a Pentecostal?
No, she was a Methodist, but she was bowling, and she was a super good bowler. Everybody else in my family is athletic, pretty much. And she was a great bowler, and she's very competitive, as was her mom, and she hates to lose. And she saw the Methodist minister, her minister, cheating. And my mom was brilliant at math and brilliant in all things.
Cheating at bowling?
And he was cheating at bowling. And she was angry, so angry. She was 5'1" at the most, full of piss and vinegar when somebody was cheating, and she called him out, and he said, I'm not cheating. I totally got a strike. And she's like, you had 3 balls. That's not a strike. And he said, I got a strike. And she's like, you're a minister. You're not supposed to lie about bowling. And he's like, I'm not lying. And he refused to back down. And so my mom just boop, up and quit. Never went back to church, any church ever again.
Dang.
Because my mom holds a grudge.
It's because bowling's of Satan, and Satan works his magic on your mother that night.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Bowling, candlepin bowling was just more holy than church, I guess, for my mom.
Is that what it was? Candlepin?
I don't know. It's the little balls.
Yeah, that's candlepin.
Yeah, we're in New
That's
Hampshire.
Not bowling.
It's bowling.
That's not bowling.
It's bowling.
It's not. Big pin is only bowling.
Dude.
If your ball doesn't weigh at least 12 pounds, it's not bowling.
My mom was little. She couldn't have lifted up those big balls.
She could have.
Sounded naughty. Dee says she's a horrible bowler.
Never mind.
Dee said, I'm a horrible bowler, but I'm great at Wii bowling. Yeah. I've never done that.
Me neither. I've never owned a Wii.
I know.
Wii.
I know. Do you have another story?
I don't know.
Feel free to share your stories, folks. Oh, wait. Oh, Susie! Susie said candlepin is fake bowling. My mom's dead, but her ghost is listening, and you two are in trouble.
She's gonna go smoke in my bathroom again.
I know. We every once in a while we get a cigarette smell in the bathroom, so it's either my mom or Sean's Grammy or something.
My grandmother hates the cold, man. She wouldn't come here.
Oh man. So so this is a story that all animal lovers will hate, but it just shows how Grammys sometimes don't care. So this Grammy doesn't like dogs, and her son said in passing that studies show dogs improve longevity for seniors, right?
Yeah.
Which he's probably trying to be nice, right? And to which she replied, completely serious, mind you, is the quote. What do you mean? Like if you eat them?
I got a Grammy story.
All right, I'm ready.
Hopefully nobody in my family is listening.
Oh God. Oh God, I'm so afraid.
So my grandfather was really big into photography. Like, he did.
Oh no!
He had his own dark room and stuff. And he was really big into technology too. And I'm talking like the first big screen TV. He had one of the first big screen TVs, and it was really literally like a movie screen with a console that sat in the middle of the living room with 3 huge lenses, red, green, and blue, and somehow it magically combined to make the show on the screen. But if you walked anywhere left or right of center, you couldn't see anything, right?
Okay.
So, because it was, anyways, so. You don't count.
Shelly's here, but she's on the other side of the family, so it's okay.
So my grandparents had like a water bed in their bedroom. First generation VCR that was like as big as a Samsonite suitcase. And then, I stayed there all the time, and I'd oftentimes be the only one there. So eventually I figured out that this VHS machine had its own collection of tapes nearby, and they were all adult films. Well, not all of them, but there was some adult films in amongst the other things. So, I might have viewed a couple. But then my curious nature got the better of me. And my grandparents' waterbed was of the pedestal type that had drawers built in underneath. So I went and I was looking through some of the drawers, and I found some stuff, maybe like some adult toys, whatever. I knew my grandparents were like uptight, so that doesn't fit.
Yeah, because they posted the sign on the door.
Yeah.
All right.
But then I found like a couple pictures. And one of them was my grandmother.
No.
Performing a sex act on a male.
No.
And of course, I never knew who the male was. It could have been my grandfather. But
No.
in my head, I always theorized, since he was really into photography, he might have been the photographer.
Well, he could have put it on like that
like a tripod.
timer.
Oh, he totally
Yeah,
had the
yeah.
technology to do that. But I mean, this was
No.
still back in the days of, the most instant you could get was a Polaroid camera. So, oh
No.
man, my grandparents were fun people. Read John's thing right there.
John Bell said Sean had the coolest grandparents I ever met. 100% truth.
It is. It's 100% true. That just proves it right there.
But you don't want to see your Grammy doing that.
Nah.
No.
I really didn't.
No.
It didn't
No.
bother me at all. I just it always made me wonder.
Dude, you're like the chillest human in the whole world.
Me, why?
Because nothing bothers you. Like I would have been like, repress that. Like I would have freaked out.
And everybody has their secrets. They may not be that bad. They might be really lame and mundane, but you can't judge people.
Well, no, you shouldn't judge them, but
if you're not hurting other people, what's the big deal?
Exactly. That's really true. And that's what my mom always believed. But I was still, my uptight New England aspect, that other side of my family probably would have been like, I have to repress this for the rest of my life.
Well,
I could never
would. I know that.
Like I could not handle it.
I would.
Sure. Susie said, my husband's grandmother, standing 5'3", used to carry $250 worth of loose quarters in her purse. It was her bingo money and her anti-mugging weapon.
Yeah, that's 25 rolls of quarters.
That's so heavy.
That's why it's because if somebody's gonna mug you, swing that at them and try to hit them in the head. It
would mess them up, man. John said, we saw Polaroids of everyone's parents and grandparents growing up. They didn't hide them too well.
That's true. Man.
Florida?
I'm not kidding, dude.
Not New Hampshire.
There was porno mags all over the place. You could look at any nightstand drawer, you'd find toys, Polaroids. Jeez.
Wow. All right, so
no house was safe from us, the likes of John and us back then.
You guys are Snoopy.
Yeah.
Like totally much. Snoopy. Christopher's story is hysterical. My granddad would grab food and sneak tastes of it when we weren't looking. And one day he grabbed what he thought was ice cream. And it turned out to be my mother's perm. Hilarious for us, but he did not have a good time.
Oh my God, that was
That's so
horrible.
Terrible. That's so terrible. Oh, your poor granddad. That's so nasty.
I mean, a perm doesn't even smell good.
No.
I can't imagine what it tastes like.
No.
Holy smokes.
Schmokes.
I was gonna say
I know, it was a nice cover.
Schmokes.
There was one story about a Grammy whose son came home. And she reminds me of the Grammy with the TikTok magnets that we talked about at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
Because her son came home. He was a grown-up, right? But he had a mustache.
Yeah.
And she's like, you can't come in.
What? Why?
Not until you shave that thing off your face.
Sounds like you, baby.
I would never do that. She was like, you can't come into this house.
You hate mustaches.
I do. But
unless they're connected to a beard.
They're fine connected to a beard. I just have a bad association with them for certain things. It's also a certain kind of look.
It's
the Sean look. It's the Sean look. Anyway.
I just a mustache.
I know, but if you did.
Well, I used to.
I know. That was before we were together.
I know.
Yeah. All right. Do you have another story?
No.
No. You're
on 7:58. You can carry it for 2 more minutes.
That's a lot.
Come on, baby.
All right. So, this is a story told to me by my grandmother. My granddad was an Irishman who came to England during World War II, married Granny, settled down, and had my dad. For most of their marriage, they would take trips to Ireland on the ferry to see his family. This happened on one of their earlier trips before Dad was born. Granny was talking to the woman in charge of the dormitories on board, and the ferry lady said, "Where are you going?" And Granny said, "Granddad's hometown." And the ferry lady said, "Are you driving there?" And Granny said, this is not that good a story. And Granny said, no, my father-in-law's picking us up. And the fairy lady said, who's your father-in-law? And the granny said, it's blah, 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 blah. And the fairy lady was like, oh, he'll be late.
That's a stupid story.
I know. I'm so sorry.
So read these.
Wait, okay.
Read these.
Okay, D said, save me, D. D said, every time my granny sees me, she asks me 2 questions. What did you bring me? And who's your boyfriend? My granny wants me to buy her a flat screen and a car. Aww.
She probably doesn't need a car, but you can buy her a flat screen. They're cheap nowadays.
one of my Grammys, whenever she saw me, she'd be like, "You got to show your cleavage."
To you?
Yeah.
She was right.
And she was always like,
100%
she's like,
correct.
I know, but she started saying this when I was like 12. And she would be like, you got to show it. You got to show it, Carrie. You got to show it. That's how you get things.
You got to use your money makers, baby.
Yeah. And of course, you know, that since I'm wearing a turtleneck right now, you can see that advice went right in. And my other my Nana, every time I saw her, she'd like grill me on politics, like everything, like everything.
She's trying to keep you sharp, honey.
Oh, she was sharp.
It worked because you are sharp.
D. Harris, Susie is saying to D, my Southern Grammy would say, give me some sugar, and then, how's your life? How's your love life? How's your love life? D said she can't drive and she doesn't have room for a flat screen TV, and apparently I'm picky, and that's why I don't have a boyfriend. Aww. It's okay to be picky.
Hell yeah, it is.
Sometimes it's good to be picky, D.
It is.
It's going to be someone who deserves you. Because you're awesome.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's 801, baby.
All right, yay! I'm so sorry. My last story was so terrible.
That was a dud, but it's not your fault.
I'm so sorry. I should have read it ahead of time.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have time.
You should have prepared yourself a little more, baby.
I didn't prepare at all.
Me neither.
We improv this one.
But we still did.
We made it through.
A suitable job, at least.
A suitable job.
I mean, I think I told the best Grammy story.
You did.
Because it's a good Polaroid.
Not of your Grammy.
Huh?
Not of your Grammy.
What?
No.
A certain time in a man's life, it doesn't matter who the woman is.
Oh, wait, we have one more story from Michelle. My grandparents had 9 kids. When I asked my grandmother why she had 9 kids, her response was, Larry kept saying, don't worry, you won't get pregnant.
That happened to Carrie one time.
What?
Did he only have one testicle?
No, don't talk about him. People know him. No, we're not going to talk about that. Oh my God.
I was not putting any content. It was just
random
question.
No, anyone could put that together. Oh my God. No more live podcasts. That's it, Sean. That's it. Still a great night. Thanks, Shelly. Hopefully we won't get sued soon. Everybody. Oh yeah. Well, no, never mind. We're not going there. Thank you. Yeah, cue outro. Where the heck is the outro?
I don't know, baby.
Thank you for listening to Loving the Strange. Please be sure to like and subscribe. And remember, embrace the strange. New episodes every Saturday, live streaming Fridays. Go get your strange on, friends. Thanks for listening.